we've all been waiting for, the crowning of King Charles. God save the King!
Good morning, friends. This is a new look. I've been up for quite some time because today was Coronation Saturday. So my mom and I got up early and watched the King and the Queen get crowned, and then we went back to bed for a few hours. So it is now way later than I should be getting. It is now 11 o'clock. I have about 20 minutes to get ready. I already did my hair. I have an idea of what I'm gonna wear. I just have to put my makeup on and chat with you guys. So today we are seeing Ain't Too Proud. And what's so funny is I have seen so many commercials on the TV the last few weeks for this musical. This is almost the 4th week in a row of me having to put makeup on in the morning because we had a musical, and then I didn't put any makeup on the week after that because we were on an airplane super early in the morning. And then the week after that was a wedding, which would have been the last video I posted, and then this week. So I am kind of getting sick of putting makeup on, but that's okay. This is actually a bathrobe. I put it on backwards because I do have my undergarments on. I just didn't want to get dressed yet, so I didn't accidentally get any makeup on my outfit. This is coming in quite handy. I have no clue what I'm doing at this point. This is the first time I'm putting my makeup on in this order. Did I mean to? Not really, but that's what happens when you don't have a lot of time and you also don't care too much. I say every time I'm gonna keep it chill. I'm gonna still try and keep it as chill as I can, but ooh, that looks really good. This side just not. This is going great. It's not horrible. This is. Okay, now to do my eyes. Actually, I told you what we were seeing, and a lot of people probably know or have heard of it, but I haven't said anything else about it, so give me 1 second. So here's the synopsis from the Straz Center's website. Ain't Too Proud, The Life and Times of the Temptations is an electrifying new smash hit Broadway musical that follows the Temptations' extraordinary journey from the streets of Detroit to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That's it. And what's interesting is, or what's funny is, we just saw their name in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because we were just there last week. Glasses check. Actually, it does not look bad. Now to get dressed so we can go for lunch. Second time I haven't had to drive, so that's nice. Mom drove this time since she has to get gas later. But we have arrived for lunch, where at this point where we go. Best of the best. Wonder what I'll get today. Wonder what I'll get.
Alright, so we have just a spud.
Yep. Well, that looks very nice, Kate.
And there we go.
Perfect. Excellent.
Anything else I can get you?
We're good.
Alright.
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
I did it, everyone. I did it.
Well, kinda.
It's a potato. A potato. And my normal sandwich. And what did Mom get?
Soup and salad. On the same plate at the same time.
And of course, the cookie.
Two hours later.
Well, we didn't anticipate it raining. So we just walked to the car in the rain. That was an adventure. Oh, that's gonna be really cold.
I turned it off.
Okay. There's makeup on my glasses. Could have been like everyone else and waited, but where's the fun in that?
Everybody is waiting. Except for us lucky ones.
I don't know if I'd call us lucky.
I enjoyed a lot of. Okay, here we go.
You can kind of tell how wet her seat is. Oh gosh. But if I'm honest, if we didn't leave when we did, we probably would still be waiting because we hit a bunch of rain as we drove out. So I don't think we really had a choice. It's fine. A little rain only hurt the Wicked Witch of the West. So this is going to be a little close because as soon as I walked in the door, I started undressing because of how wet I was. So I'm going to hop in the shower and clean up my makeup because I'm looking hot. But I have like 20-30ish minutes to get ready because we have a fun little dinner to go to before we can film our review. So we will keep you waiting in anticipation of our thoughts on Ain't Too Proud. Happy birthday! So everyone in the comments, go wish Brittany a happy birthday. Thanks! Alright, so here we are, ready to review Ain't Too Proud. So, we kind of had high expectations going into it.
Yes.
I think kind of for different reasons. Because my husband, Brit, has seen this before, and so he kind of hyped it up all week.
Mm-hmm. And I had somebody who I just talked to, a friend of mine, Angie, who told me, oh, you're going to love it. And I was like, okay, great. So I thought I'm going to love it.
So we had high expectations going into this.
Yes.
And let's just say we didn't necessarily love it.
No. Good points. It had a live orchestra.
Yes.
And truly, when there's a live orchestra, the music and the singing just jive so much better. I thought the music sounded very good.
And we liked all the songs. I mean, the songs were all good.
The
singers were great.
Yes, they did an excellent job singing, and the whole dancing and the routines and all that kind of stuff were really spot on.
Yeah.
The women in there too, especially.
Oh, yeah.
They had voices that were magnificent. Magnificent. I mean, they were just belting out those songs, and it was like they were just really good. They were good.
Yeah. I will say one thing I liked and didn't like was the set. I liked the pieces that they did end up having coming down, but the one thing that I didn't like was any time they had, a lot of it was when they were showing like different city names and anything that was moving across the screen, across the stage. I felt like those were a little distracting because then I also couldn't really tell where they were, what it was supposed to say. And I liked all the set pieces came on and off.
Like, it was so cool because some like pieces would come on and then all of a sudden they would just roll off the stage like by magic.
Yeah.
So, or like even characters would be on the stage and next thing you know, and they were gone and they would just kind of like disappear. They would just kind of slide off the side.
I liked that.
So that was cool.
So the biggest complaint we have is the whole storyline.
It's supposed to tell a story, and I feel I need to go and research about the Temptations because I don't really know even like what year they got started. I did not realize how young they were, and were they all that young? The actors never aged at all on the set, and they were older to start with. And so when it did go on, you didn't realize that, 20 years had passed because they looked the same. But the other thing too is they never had a year. So if you didn't know when certain things happened in history, then you had no clue when this was going on. Mm-hmm. So you really didn't get the whole story. I just kind of feel like it just missed the boat on that big time.
Yeah. Exactly to your point, I think the biggest downfall there is they didn't include any years. And they didn't include any ages. So the time was just it was hard to follow in that aspect.
Right. So I just stopped following it and just started listening to the music. Except the second half I thought was better, and maybe it was because I still didn't know timeline, I still didn't know that kind of stuff, but it was pretty much okay, so this guy got this and he died, and this guy got this and he died, and this guy. So it was very like self-explanatory because it was very precise and you didn't have to think about whatever. And they sang more of their like whole song. Well, they sang that one song. Papa was a Rolling Stone. They sang that for a very long time as they're going through and explaining these different deaths that had happened.
Yeah, I definitely thought the first half was boring, but I do agree the second half was a little bit better. The ending was really cool. I did really like the ending.
Yes. Okay.
So that's why I feel like, it was a good musical. I feel like their main objective with the musical, though, was to sing as many Temptation songs as they could.
Yes.
And so because of that, it left a lot of their story, or it left a good amount of their story out.
Right, because there really wasn't a whole lot of storytelling in it. It was mostly singing.
Yeah. What's very interesting is now we've seen, this is technically like the third history lesson musical that we've seen. We saw Six, which had a lot of history in it.
Yes.
We've seen Tina, which is the life of Tina Turner.
Right.
And now we've seen Temptations, which is the life of the Temptations.
Right.
And so I feel like with each three of those, we've gotten completely different ways to tell the story.
Yes.
And I feel like out of all three of those, this was the one that left the most
Questions.
of their story.
Right.
Well, with that, I don't think these ratings are going to be very high. But what would you give this musical?
I hate to do this because I love musicals, but I would give it a 5. I was thinking that my husband would really enjoy this, but I'm not sure. He would have enjoyed the music, but that would have been it. And there was so much more. There should be so much more to a story about the Temptations than there was.
I would give it a 4. I was gonna give it a 5, but I really can't. I can't find enough things that I liked about it to give it a 5. Because the story was just so lacking. I really just felt like I went to a Temptations concert. Like, that's what I felt like. Would you recommend it?
Wow. I would recommend it saying, if you want to go and hear Temptation music and see them perform, then you should go see it. If you're going to learn about the Temptations, you're not going to learn a whole lot. So if you just go in thinking, okay, I'm just going to listen to their music, then you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend this. I feel so bad saying that. We've really enjoyed all the musicals we've seen.
Maybe the whole purpose of this was just so that you go and listen to their music, then you would enjoy it. But I feel like because they were trying to tell the story, but I don't think you really got a full picture of it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, those are our thoughts.
I know. And we're just 2 people out of a lot.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people that came out of there and said it was excellent and they loved it. It just wasn't our favorite.
Yeah. Well, we have one more musical, which is
Jagged Little Pill.
So we have the one more musical, and then there'll be a break with this series until October when our next season tickets start up. Until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.
Bye.
I was like, how do I end this on a positive note? I'm gonna redo that.